Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits of Motorcast. Your host, Dave. I got on me, I'll call funny car driver Mark Horvath. How you doing, Mark?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Did you drive the Mopar Missile, right?
Yeah, one of the three I drive.
No. So what's the other two funny cars you drive?
Chuck Horvath, Damn Yankee, and Chuck Horvath, Gold Coast Charger.
Yeah. Then Chuck's your father, right?
Yep.
So how did you get involved in drag racing from your dad?
Yeah, he raced back in the 60s with Rich Zabel and the Shakers Willies.
So you've been around drag racing pretty much your whole life then?
Pretty much. My dad didn't get back into it till we got older. As soon as I was in high school and got a car, I started racing at the local track. Street cars, motorcycles, anything I could get in.
So you did some bracket car racing?
Yeah, back in the 80s.
So what was the first car you started driving?
74 Dodge Charger with 440.
Then after that car, did you have any other cars for bracket car racing?
No, I switched to a motorcycle because it was cheaper. Then my brother built a mini tub 340 Dart with a 4-speed. I drove a couple times.
Yeah, what kind of motorcycle were you racing?
Huh?
What kind of motorcycle were you racing in?
VFR 1000 Honda.
So
A buddy of mine had a Ninja 900 at the time, 86, 87. I rode that a couple of times. That was a lot of fun, but then I started having kids and thought that wasn't too good an idea.
yeah, when you had kids, did you take a break from drag racing?
Yeah.
Then when did you start getting into it again?
Back in '99 when we purchased Vega, the Damn Yankee.
So now, how did you get involved with the Great Lakes Nostalgia Funny Car Circuit?
Well, he showed up at our house one day. We ran with Klingerman Brothers out of Bourbon, Indiana, and we were just going here and there, match racing each other wherever we could. And one day, Denny showed up out at my dad's barn, and we've been with him ever since.
Yeah, I remember seeing a damn Yankee car at Great Lakes Dragway in Wisconsin years ago.
Yeah, I think the last time we were probably there in 14. I think 2014 is the last time we went up there.
Yeah, because I think you guys were at either Memorial Day weekend or the Labor Day weekend. You guys were up together.
Yeah, we scoped there quite a bit. Then we started going everywhere else.
Yeah, I know Bill Anderson still goes to Great Lakes Dragway.
Oh, I didn't mind it. We just had a couple little disagreements up there, and to say even though the track was as much history, we just can't come to an agreement on what we're worth to run up there. And got a lot of other places that I'm interested in. We don't do this to get rich, so we go where we have the most fun.
Yeah, when you guys used to go there, wasn't Broadway Bob was still alive, wasn't he?
No.
Yeah, now, like the past Memorial Day weekend, I know there was like 2 or 3 guys from the Great Lakes Nostalgic Funny Car Circuit up there.
Yeah, they used to be from Great Lakes. They went out on their own and doing their own thing.
The Blue Thunder. Yeah, well, one of the cars is Blue Thunder. Then Bill Anderson's Roadshow.
Yeah, they quit running with the group last year. Just kind of doing their own thing. Don't want a hectic schedule.
So now you're gonna be in the big race this year with Denny's group up in Keystone.
Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully have both our cars there. My youngest one, my son, is gonna start licensing to drive the damn Yankee.
Well, now what year did you get your funny car license?
When did I get mine?
Yeah, what year?
2000.
Who did you get licensed by?
Bunker Hill and Indy.
So now with the Mopar Missile, what's been the quickest time with the Mopar Missile you've had with that car?
About 8 seconds. It's been plagued with all kinds of problems. We had a bunch of transmission problems that really took its toll on us getting that thing going very well. Between the racing and trying to get another car going, I didn't have much time to deal with the problems I was having with the transmission.
So now, out of the 3 cars, which one's the quickest car?
Probably Gold Coast Charger.
Then what's the fastest pass you've made with that one?
690 3 times in a row at Keystone. A couple years ago, we had a deal where they took the limit off, and I just could have had a lot more left in it, but with the group, they run on a 7.0 index, and I don't waste a lot of time doing much more. That's my goal for right now.
Right. So now this year, have you done any racing this year?
No, not yet. We haven't got her out yet. My mom passed away Mother's Day this year, and she was sick before that, and thought that was more important than getting the car out at the moment.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm sorry about your mom. May she rest in peace.
Thank you. She was, luckily I was supposed to be at St. Louis that weekend, and she never let me not go to a race. She busted her knee in half one time up at 131, and we were going to take her in the ambulance, and she got mad because we were going to leave. And then we ended up, she was just as much into the racing as we were.
Well, that's good that the whole family was involved.
Yep. My dad, mom, my brother, and me, our wives, our kids. Sometimes we show up at a racetrack and it looks like a Schumacher team out there.
So for you, how many kids do you have?
I have 3. My brother has 3, and 3 of them, when they were younger, all ran junior dragsters, and my nephew was a 3-time champion at Martin 131.
So any of them do any dry racing still?
My nephew he owns Horvath Fabrication and Welding, and he's kind of branched out. He was mud racing for a couple of years with a Dakota that he built, and now he's building a straight axle 65 CUDA to race with the Southeast
So now for you, Mark, when you started drag racing, were there any other drivers that were inspirational to you out there, like funny car drivers, dragsters, anybody else?
I always liked Doc Holliday. Dad always took us up. We always went to the Pop Rod meet and any meet they had at 131. And I always liked Doc Holliday.
Doc Holliday and the Telstar.
Yep.
Yeah, Doc's a great guy. He's been doing it for years.
Yep. And he's a nice, low-key guy with a nice operation and always had time to talk to you no matter what was happening.
Yeah, he ran against all the big guys years ago with Don Snake Perdome and all of them.
Oh,
I was watching some of the old videos recently of him going against the Snake at the Great Lakes Dragway and a bunch of other people.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've seen a lot of good ones between Martin and Indy there. We've seen them all.
So now for you, Mark, have you ever had the desire to go into nitromethane?
No, not really. I still got to go to work every day, and I still have family and other interests, and that's a lot of money, dedication, and it's hard enough finding the crew to run a double D car.
Now, if a nitro team asked you to drive, would you consider it?
Oh, I'd drive one if somebody'd pay the bill. I'd jump right in. It wouldn't scare me a lick. Actually, I was at the Lane Automotive Car Show. We did a cackle fest up there with the missile. Roger Lindemoon's car was up there. The Ram Charger's car. 5 front engine dragsters. And then Terry McMillan lit his car up and flipped the throttle a couple times, and I just looked at my wife and I said, if they'd pay the bill, I'd jump in.
Roger Lindemood's Color Me Gone. I used to watch that car race when I was a little kid all the time.
Yeah, funny thing about that car, it's the Monza, his last one, and I raced for a number of years with the guy that had it as Rum One Fever, Mike Dolph. And to see it again, and I mean, it's all restored 100%. The guy and his wife own both the cars, the Ram Charger car and the Color Me Gone, and they're spotless.
So all he does is cackle them both?
Yeah, that's all they do. They're cackle cars, and that's a show. Beautiful.
I know there's another guy. I forgot who was it. They're building a Ram Charger's car, but it's going to be used to racing, though.
Yeah, that's Rick Kraft's tied to that.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Supposed to be driving it. I think it's kind of slow going. It's like I say, it's expensive to get them going, let alone you got to have a pretty good income.
Yeah. So now, when you go out on any of the 3 funny cars, how many crew members do you have, and who are all your crew members?
We always take my dad. He makes all the decisions. My brother tunes it. My wife feeds us. My son and nephews work on it, and I got a good friend that I work with that helps us too. But like I said, the local races, I could have 2 backup girls and 5 other people helping me. My daughter generally does the backing up. I got a daughter-in-law that she'd rather run the data on everything and help with the car than back me up, but she'll do it. And then I got a niece that does it. And like I say, my nephews and my son, they're all there. We usually anywhere from, I ran over in Beaver Springs, Pennsylvania with me, my wife, and 2 buddies. and at Joliet, I think I had 10 people. So it varies.
So now, if you take 2 cars out of the race, do you need 2 different crews, or you use the same crew for both cars?
It depends, because like I say, my brother tunes them, so he'll tune both of them, the backup girl and stuff, and my son, when my brother's not there, a lot of times we go to races all over the country. My brother's got other commitments. He'll tune us up over the phone through my boy. So now with my boy in the seat, we're going to have, my brother's going to have to go a little bit more.
Yeah. So Mark, what was it like for you to get behind the wheel for the first time of a Alcohol Funny Car?
I knocked myself out.
You knocked yourself out?
On the head. My brother told me to plant my head, and I was too busy cheesing, and as soon as I hammered that throttle, it knocked me out. It was, next thing I knew, I was going down the track.
So how was the experience though when you came to?
Oh, it's been good. It's the G-force of taking off, and most people think that's the biggest one, but actually when the chute hits hard, it's actually worse stopping than it is taking off. It's just a rush. It's kind of ironic or something that my fastest passes have been like driving the hauler down the highway. Smooth, nothing happens. You shift, hit the parachute, shut the fuel off, set it off, and go, oh well. Now I've had tracks that we go to that I fought it the whole time, and I'd have swore I went 650, and I'm like, no, 7-0. But yeah, I've been in a couple fun situations getting some of these older tracks. The tracks aren't all that bad, but the shutdowns are. And you get one of them non-suspended cars bouncing, and you got a handful.
So what? The first time when they lowered the body down on you, it didn't bother you when they lowered the body down? You no claustrophobia or nothing?
No, I like it better that way. I guess I'm a hermit or something. Actually, I'm an electrician by trade, but I enjoy welding, and me and my nephew did all the welding and brake work on the metal for the missile. And it's just like being in a welding helmet. I close that helmet, and it's just me, and we go do our thing. Some people are quite the opposite. People wanted to sit in the car just sitting on the jack stands, and I close the body, and they're ready to come out the roof.
So now, throughout the years that you've been driving a funny car, have you gotten any advice from other, like, older drivers? Like, say, like Doc Holliday, has he given any advice?
No, not really. I somehow do pretty well wherever we go. I've had I've actually been asked advice from Roland Leon.
Wow.
He
the legendary.
helps one of the cars Mopar crazy with us, and he just shakes his head and looks at me and says, how you do that? I said, just do it. That's what I'm kind of worried about with my son driving in the other car. Either you can do it or you can't.
Right.
You can't. There's no in-betweens, and I just got lucky, and I'm one of them that can. Now, I don't have a very good time riding on an airplane when I'm not in control, but as far as that car, you have to feel that car, and everybody says, well, how do you steer it? How do you this? How do you that? You don't. You just do it. I mean, I'm sure if I had a GoPro in there, I'd surprise myself the stuff that I have to do. A lot of my friends, they're like, oh, yeah, you drag it. Oh, that's pretty fast. Oh, well, straight. I'm like, no, it doesn't until I pull the parachute. And people don't understand that about drag racing. That there's a lot more to it. Now, my son's driven a front engine dragster and done fairly well with it, so hopefully it'll transfer. Basically, you have to drive those cars with your butt. Your eyes are relatively useless between all the shaking and moving, and you have to know where the car's at no matter what.
Yeah. So currently, do you guys have any sponsors for any of your funny cars?
No. No. When me, my dad, and brother decided to build this, he's seen a lot of people racing and a lot of teams and a lot of sponsors. He said, if we can't afford to do this by ourselves, we're not going to do it. So this is our car. Nobody's going to tell us what to do or when to do it. And that's what I live by.
So now, Mark, when you get ready for a weekend of drag racing, what goes into preparation?
Well, I usually go down to the shop, check the bearings, check the oil. Me and my boy go over and check all the fasteners, make sure everything's right, and check our fuel, load the fuel in the trailer, and load the trailer up. Run the valves. Usually before we leave, we'll warm it up, recheck the valves, and we're ready to go.
Now, what are some of your favorite tracks to race on?
Oh, I don't know. They're all good. The favorite one, probably, it's kind of a toss-up between Route 66 and Martin 131. Both of those tracks, you really don't even need a steering wheel to get down them. I mean, they're just flawless. And I've raced on some pretty bumpy ones that are kind of my favorites. I raced up at Kokona, Wisconsin, Wisconsin International, and out of our group, I got one of the few cars that'll make it down there successfully, and I can't get it stopped. I always end up at the cul-de-sac by the bar, but getting down the track, no problem.
Now this year when I think they got six cars run at Route 66 this year, right? Are you going to be with them?
Yes, sir.
And who's the other 5 guys that can be running up there?
I'm not real sure. Of course, Rocky Osick, my nemesis. He's him and I for a couple of years. It was the Rocky and Mark show. We went around beating up each other all over the country. I know Rocky Osick, Mike Kerr's got a purple 70 Duster called Chasing My Childhood. I believe Ron Ohms with Streakers ride the 69 Camaro. What's that give us? 4?
How about Joey Haas?
Who's that?
I said, how about Joey Haas?
Oh yeah, I think Joey's coming. Well, I don't know about Joey. I enjoy running with young Joey. He's a lot of fun and a good competitor. But last year he won that Fuel Altered National deal with his other setup.
Right.
And I think he's probably going to defend that. John Troxel, the Mopar Crazy, was supposed to be there, but they suffered some catastrophic engine failure at the funny car race they were at last month. I guess they tore a block up and some other stuff.
So then, would you consider Rocky and the Solid Rocky your greatest competitor?
Well, me and Rocky have a lot of fun. Yeah, I think I don't know these young kids. We got a couple young ones that are nipping at our heels pretty good, like Joey Haas. Nick Tilley runs the Shyster Corvette. I don't think he's going to run with the group this year, but man, them young boys are up on the they give me a pretty good run. Then we got Bill Walls was getting his car straightened out. He's out past, he's east of Cleveland there. He's got that Omni that a guy from Chicago built and never got to run. He's getting that dialed in, straightened out. I tell you, just about anybody on the Great Lakes circuits, they won't give you anything.
Oh, you got Chris and Krista Mozzarella?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've done battle pretty good. We had, ran at Martin, we ran down at Marion County. It's a nice thing about the group that from where I'm at, I can run guys on the East Coast, guys from west of us, guys south of us. We kind of meet in the middle, and that's a nice thing about it.
Yeah, and you got the guys like John Sergio.
What was that?
I said you got guys like John Sergio.
Oh yeah, John's got a beautiful car that runs just as good. I'd enter that car in any car show around or race. It's impeccable. The paint, the way John keeps it clean, it's a great car.
That they got Robert Daly on the East Coast.
Yeah, I think he's running the injected class with the Warhorse.
Yeah.
Yeah, he runs injected. I don't think he moved up to a blower yet.
So now, do you do 8 mile racing too?
You're breaking up on your phone. What was that?
Do you do 8 mile drag racing as well as quarter mile?
Yeah, whatever we can do at the track, I'll do.
What's your preference, though, quarter mile or 8 mile?
Well, I prefer. I don't know. Sometimes it's just better to run an 8 mile at some tracks and a quarter mile at others.
Yeah, no. Some guys they say they like to shut the car off earlier in 8 mile. It saves on the wear and tear of your car and all that. Whatever.
No, well, me running them Hemis, those 8 miles, that just makes it all that much tougher because the Chevrolet inherently winds up a lot quicker than a Hemi. If I'm even close to a Chevy at 600 foot, I can probably go around it because that's when the Chrysler starts making power, 600 foot and on.
Yeah, end of the 8th mile, you're just getting started still.
Yeah. Probably the closest race I ever won was against a small block Chevy that used to run with us. I mean, that thing flew out of the hole, and I don't think I passed them to 599 feet and 1 inch. It was that close, but it did it.
So you think you'd ever go racing with any of those funny car chaos events?
No, probably not. I really enjoy what I'm doing. Like I said, if somebody come along with the right deal and I could drive it, I'd drive anything. But
but the neat thing about funny car chaos, you might be able to go against one of the nitromethane guys.
Yeah, I don't know. They impress me, but like I say, I'm not willing to commit to something like that.
Yeah, you don't gotta commit. You don't have to commit to it. All you do is go up there, run one event, and that's it. Like I think Joey Horvath was doing one in Illinois.
Yeah. Oh, that funny car chaos thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, not really. Like I say, all my setups are to run with the group on a 7.0 index, and I really pride myself on being able to hit that number to the metal mean, those races, I mean, it's an open race. And I know there ain't no way in hell. I know David slayed Goliath, but I'm not getting next to John Lawson. I know what John Lawson can do. And I got nothing for him. I mean, you know, they are what they are, apples and oranges.
Yeah.
But I don't know how the first one turned out. I didn't get a whole lot of information on it. There was a lot of hype leading up to it, but then not much coverage of what happened. I know Troxel went, and they had a few problems, and then that's when he destroyed that motor.
Man, the alcohol guy won the event, Ken Singleton.
Yeah, that's what John runs, is alcohol.
Yeah. The John Troxel car.
Yeah, he was out there trying to slay Goliath, and it didn't work out. But like I said, I never heard any coverage of it. There's hype leading up to him, but then nothing on what's happening. Maybe I wasn't looking in the right places.
So now with the Mopar missile, what kind of engine you got under the hood?
That's a 488 cubic inch stage 5 Keith Black. Old one. Not as old as the one that's in the damn Yankee. That's a stage 3, which is cast in about 81 or 82. The one in the missile is probably 84, 85. It was actually Kenny Bernstein's backup motor.
And how about the third car?
We got it from a guy in Florida. They were running it in a alcohol dragster. He actually owned the Gold Coast body, the Charger body, for 20-some years and never did nothing with it. We bought it from a different guy, and he got our number and made us a deal on the motor.
So now, Mark, if anybody's listening to the interview right now and they're thinking about driving an alcohol funny car, what kind of advice would you give them?
Well, I would tell them to buy something running already. If they don't want to do it that way, because we built both of our cars, and the way people are getting out of it and the chassis available today, I mean, it sounds like a lot of money, $30,000-$40,000, but that's the way to do it. You got a base. I mean, things you don't like, you can change, are no big thing. But once you try to come up with stuff off a blank canvas without anything to start for, it just takes forever. I mean, you know, if you don't have the money and that's the way you got to go, you better plan on 5 to 6 years. If you can get it done any quicker than that, then you really had the money to buy a roller. There's a lot of people getting rid of old alcohol cars, newer chassis, stuff like that. I wouldn't, to race on a circuit like we got, I wouldn't buy a 40 or 50-year-old chassis and try to do much with it but cackle it or show it. You just got too much stress in the tubing and everything else that it's not going to be competitive or safe. You can get a chassis built, the chassis under the missiles, it's a 2005 or 2006. And we chopped the cage off of it. Me and my nephew made more of a lay-down seat. And the cage in it, I think, is only 8 inches tall because of the high shoulder rail. you can get a modern car instead of body down on it the way it should be without, 2-foot high fender skirts and dropping the bumper a foot. You can slam them down there.
So now, Mark, throughout your whole drag racing career, have you had any accidents or near accidents?
Oh, I scraped the wall 5-6 years ago at Martin. I had a wheelie bar giveaway, and the track kept pulling me left. I got close to it and thought I had it straight and pedaled it and smacked it pretty good. Just scraped it. Then I went through a little thing about 3 years ago, and I tried hitting everything on the track. I think I got 3 cones. One backwoods track had a slow-moving vehicle sign hanging a foot off the wall at the finish line, and I tagged that with a quarter, and I was having quite a time. Nothing much any more serious than that.
So now, what would you consider to be some of the milestones of your drag racing career?
I don't know. Racing at Indy was always a dream of mine, and I did that. Wasn't quite what I thought it was. Then traveling the country, I raced at Bristol. That's another beautiful facility. I raced at Norwalk. Raced a little 8-mile track up in Buffalo, New York. Milestones, just being with my family all over the country. I did win the Funny Car Nationals against Mazzarella. Oh, what year was that? 2-3 years ago. I got the trophy sitting right here. 5 years ago, 2013, I'm due again. That was my first and only. Up until then, I think I'd been runner-up 6 or 7 years and never could quite pull it off. Then I won Detroit Dragway Reunion 1 year or 2 years? 2 years. So, yeah, there were a lot of, probably those wins would be the milestone. I consider any night of winning a milestone to me. Well, like I said, it's not very easy to get a car to run 7.0, but not under 7.0 without a bunch of games. We don't have nothing on our car. We got a magneto, fuel injection, and a weather station. We don't have computers. We don't have anything. And to run that consistently between 7.0 and 7.15, people they just don't get it. They want to join the group and start throwing computers and everything on, and it's like, you don't need that stuff. But apparently some people do.
So now the win that you had against Chris, would you consider that to be like your fondest memory?
Yeah, and that was kind of a rain-delayed. That was one of the last Funny Car Nationals we had at Marion County International, which was an interesting nostalgia track. And they had a guy roll the track down. They tried cleaning it up, and it just got worse and worse and worse, to the point cars couldn't get down it. And then the weather came in, and it was actually delayed till 3 weeks later. We ran it off at Martin, and I think there was 100th or 200ths of a second difference that I only beat Chris by. So it was right down to the wire. And Chris is a great competitor. He'll cut your throat when the light turns green, and when we turn the corner at the other end, we'll congratulate each other. That's a lot of what, like I say, we don't do this to get rich. We do it to have fun and put on a good show. And those are the kind of guys I really enjoy running with.
Yeah, that's the way it usually is. You're all best buddies out in the pits, and then once you hit the starting line with the helmet on, they're your worst enemy.
Yep. Well, there's been more than one time I've been helping somebody put their car together to run against me, and that's just what we do.
Then at the end of the track, you guys are best friends again at the end of the race.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Can't wait to get back to the pit to start the barbecue grill. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. Like I say, most teams are family-based, friends. It's a really good time. A big show at Pittsburgh, I think they're predicting 30 cars. I mean, to get 30 cars all running, 1980s or older, but no computers and crap on them, that's quite the feat Dennis has organized.
Yeah, it's a great group. It's a great group that he has, trying to get back to, so show everybody the old school nostalgia funny car drag racing with the long smoky burnouts and dry hopping.
Oh yeah, we got a few of them. I had a couple incidents with the dry hops. I don't do too many of them. I actually lost one of the funny car nationals one year because of a dry hop. We had the barrel valve too lean and it popped out, and I forfeited the final right there in the starting line. And ever since then, it's left kind of a bad taste in my mouth. The weather changed on us, and we weren't ready for it. My brother was flagging me no, and I did it anyways, and that's where I sat. The other guy got a single to the wind. But, oh yeah, I love doing them. We're out testing, and I'll do them every now and then when the weather's right. My brother's there. And that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to step the game up a little bit more with the new car. Try to do the fake launches and the backups. And I had one guy try and talk me into, after the burnout, switching lanes. And hey, that was a little too exciting for me, although he was probably the only guy I'd trust to do it with. But yeah, we go out and try to put on a good show and make some good passes. That's one thing with the group. The cars are getting closer and closer, and that's the biggest thing. Nobody wants to see somebody run 620 against a 680. I mean,
right, right. You want a good match race.
I mean, when I was a kid going up to Martin, the most fun was standing on your tiptoes at the bleachers to see whose wind light come on, because you couldn't tell. I mean, when you run 620 to 680, that race is over before 8th mile. You already know who won.
Yeah.
That just doesn't bring any excitement to it.